So we made it to Steinhatche, Florida, and they decided to have a party.
Hey everybody, we're still in Steinhatche, Florida. We're a little frustrated today because we can't seem to get a weather window to get out of here. If you look up there, those are storms in the distance. Basically surrounding us right now are storms. And I talked to our weather guy, Chris Parker. It's a service you can subscribe to. And I talked to him yesterday and I asked him what was a better day to go, Sunday or Monday, and he said Monday, but future forecast doesn't look good for the foreseeable future, actually. I mean, today you got to worry about the storms on the water, and he said those squalls could produce 40 or 50 mile an hour winds for a short period of time, and you just don't want to be on the water on that. That's absolutely dangerous. Tomorrow doesn't seem to be dangerous, but it does seem that we're going to have 3-foot waves, and you know, we were in maybe 4 or 5 foot waves max when we were crossing the Gulf, and I can tell you 3-foot waves aren't going to be a lot of fun either. And it's frustrating because we only are 2 days away from Clearwater, where the boat's going to be able to be docked at for a long period of time while we're in the holidays. So we're going to continue to monitor the weather and talk to other loopers that are here in terms of what their plans are. We have a fail-safe plan if we have to, but we really like to get the boat to Clearwater if we can. So that's the update for now, and we'll keep you posted. Good morning. We've been frustrated. I think I mentioned in a previous video, we've been frustrated with weather windows. The weather is mediocre, I guess would be the best way to explain it. There were about 9-10 loopers here this morning. About 6 of them elected to go today. 4 of us are staying put until tomorrow. The 6 that elected to go today elected to go because they're going to have fairly good winds this morning, and the waves are going to be 1 to 3 feet. And they got to get down to Crystal River and continue on the voyage. Some of them are in bad need of a pump out, and so they're in a position where they want to get down there and get that done. They elected to go today in order to speed the process up a little bit. I think they're going to deal with a little bit worse waves than we will tomorrow, and the waves are going to hit them on the beam, which means on the side, which means it's going to be rolling pretty good. We've elected to go tomorrow. The waves should be better tomorrow, and they should be approaching us from the stern and pushing us. The winds taking off tomorrow should be pretty good, but by the time we get to Crystal River around 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, the winds are going to be 15 to 20 miles an hour. So we're going to probably have to deal with some challenges parking the boat in the marina. Now the good news is we're 3 or 4 miles up the Crystal River where we're going to park. And so we're hoping the winds will be somewhat sheltered there, but we'll have to wait and see. The waves should be smaller, which should be a little bit better ride. So that's the kind of decisions that each captain has to make. Amy and I, as co-captains, have to make those decisions, and we elected to do that today. We elected today to do that tomorrow. We will make another call to Chris Parker, who is a weather expert, that you subscribe to his service and get a final point of view from him for tomorrow. But that's the plan so far. What I thought I'd do now is spend a little bit of time showing you some of the other boats we're traveling with in closer detail, so you can get an idea of some of the other boats that travel along. I should say that the boats that left today, there were several tugs. There's no tugs here now. They all left today, along with boats that are similar to ours and the ones that I'll show you now. So this is Changing Latitudes. It's a 39-foot motor yacht. It is Jim and Joe own this one. They're a couple that have a lot of experience in boating, and they're fairly far along on the loop. So I'm not Changing Latitudes, Latitude Adjustment, I'm sorry, is the name of their boat. We've been traveling with them. We anchored out with them the other night. and we're going to be traveling with them tomorrow, assuming we go. Here's Soulshine, this is Doug and Mindy. They also anchored out with us, and that's a Silverton, and that's, I'd say that's probably about the same size as ours, maybe a little larger than ours. And then here is Our Pace, the other boat we anchored out with. It's a Carver, and I think that's probably about a 42 footer or so. So those are the 3 other boats that we've been traveling with. And then of course over here is Staying Afloat, our boat. We're the kind of the smallest one of the group, but she's been doing just fine. We changed we cleaned all the filters yesterday and identified a small little water seepage that's coming from one of the, I think it's either a bad hose or a clamp, which will get addressed when we get to clear water, along with an oil change that needs to be done. So that's it for now. I should also mention that there are several boats that anchor outside the marina. There's a sailboat. We got to meet those people. They dinghied over a couple days ago. It turns out that they are friends of Amy's cousins from Minnesota. So what a small world that they knew them, and we were able to reach out to Amy's cousin and tell her that we met them here. And then there's another boat that's anchored out. Some people elect to anchor out, save the marina fees, and it's a nice calm area to anchor out in, so that's certainly an option for some people and a way to keep costs down on marina fees.
Of our docktails, where we go and have food and cocktails while all the men usually sit around and talk about all the boat problems that they need to fix, and the women all sit around and talk about how the men talk about the boat problems they need to be fixed.
We're just before sunup. The 4 of us, Our Pace, Soulshine, Changing Latitudes, and us are all heading to for about...
Yeah, it looks like Our Pace is back there behind the 4th boat.
About 81
Right.
miles we have to go today. The weather's been kind of off and on, so I think we're going to have a little bumpy ride, but I don't think it's going to be anything like we had when we took off to cross the Gulf. But this is, again, open water. We'll be close to shore, but it's still the Gulf of Mexico. So we're hoping that we get a good ride, like that beautiful sunset behind our camerawoman Amy. If you want to turn around and take a look at that sunrise, that is beautiful. Well, that's what we're looking at today.
Hey everybody, so we are about 3 hours into our trip to Crystal River. As you can see, we are not bouncing quite as bad as we were the other day, actually not even close. The ride's actually really smooth, it's going really well right now. There is some concerns that there will be a pickup of the wind later this afternoon as we're entering the basin of the river where we're going to marina at. So we're kind of holding our breath and hoping that we kind of beat that. I will tell you that the first hour or 2 hours into this trip, the weather wasn't the issue. There are these things called Crabpots that are in the ocean, and when we get to one of our destinations, I'll take a picture of what they look like, but you have to avoid them like the plague because they will like literally destroy your props and can handicap you out in the middle of the ocean. Look. There is, oh wow, speaking of one, there's one right there. We haven't seen one in a while, but that's a marker, so you can see where they would be easy to miss that marker. There's one over there. They kind of go, they follow a line. So when you see one, there's usually more. There's a whole line. See the whole line of anxiety around making sure you don't run into a crab pot is real. So with that, we will later today or tomorrow try to get you a picture of what one of these lovely crab pots look like. So until then, we're off. So this is a crab pot. It is the bane of my existence and causes me the reason to have to partake in docktails.
This is sunset at Crystal River. We made it, and after a short time here, we'll be off to Clearwater Beach.